Hey, I'm Anastasia Teasley, and I love photography. Although I love using DSLR cameras and nice photo editing software, I have some kind of silly little simple tricks that you can do with just a cell phone and a free app called Snapseed to impress your family and friends this summer. Trick 1. Levitating photos are some of my favorite to do at Halloween, but you could do them anytime. So we're at Lake Alatina in Cartersville, and we're going to have my son here levitate above the lake as if he's doing a big backflip. You ready?
Take a photo with nothing in the foreground. We call this a clean plate photo. Set your subject up with their props. Make sure nothing covers the visibility of their feet. Get creative with poses. It's better to have more options than fewer. Now let's edit in Snapseed. All right, I am back home and I'm going to show you how to edit these in 10 minutes or less really on Snapseed. So I'm just going to screencast right up here and you can follow along with what I'm doing. The first thing that we're going to do is open up Snapseed. As you can see, the little Snapseed icon right there. And the first screen you're going to see looks just like this. Here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is open an image from the device and find my clean plate photo. That's my photo of nobody except the background. And you see at the bottom, it gives you some filters that you could use. For this one, I'm going to use Faded Glory. You don't need to use any of them. I just kind of like the tones it puts in right away. Click OK. Now at the bottom, you see tools. I'm going to click on that. And here's the most important part is to get your levitating subject in the image. So I'm going to click on double exposure. And at the bottom left, you see add image. I'm going to find the image I think would be most hysterical, and that's going to be this one. I think it's well lit and it's funny. So you see the little paint drop icon on the bottom right-hand side, click on that, and that's your opacity. You're going to turn it all the way up. Now you can take your fingers and rotate the image so that it goes completely upside down sideways. All right, and then I'm going to click my OK button. At this point, it's going to get a little bit tedious, but it's going to be fun at the same time. At the top right-hand side, you see that little icon right there. It looks like a stack of papers with an arrow. Those are your edits. You're going to be using this a lot. So click View Edits. See where my double exposure layer is. I'm going to click on that and click on the paintbrush in the middle. All right, so now I can't see anything, but if I click on right here, you see right here at the bottom is the invert. I'm going to click on that. Now you see it's all red. That's perfect. So actually at the bottom, you see it says 0, which is great. This is where you can start erasing with your finger. So I'm just going to go ahead and start erasing content that I don't want. Okay, here we go. Do the big spots first and then go zoom in for the small spots. If you accidentally erase your person, oops, his head's gone. You can just go back up to 100 at the bottom and paint him back on. You might end up doing that a lot. All right, so I'm gonna speed up the footage so you can kind of watch what I'm doing. I will tell you that I am not great at any of this at all, but this is just kind of showing the basic tricks and then you can go from there. All right, so you see now I have a little red boy floating in the sky and I'm gonna click my check mark. So at this point I can go ahead and start editing. I'm gonna click on the vintage filter and pick maybe a filter that we can put on it. I'm also going to go to tune image and then I can adjust the brightness, contrast, shadows, and warmth a little bit. Just play around with it a little bit because it all depends on your photo and and your lighting, things like that. All right, at this point, I'm gonna add my words. I like just the plain block formatting. I'm gonna change it to Summer Vibes. I want it to be where his body actually overlaps some of the words. At this point, I'm gonna go back into my edits, view edits again, go into my text. We're doing the same thing we did before. We can actually erase a little bit of where it overlapped. Not perfect, but you kind of see the point. So I'm gonna click my back arrow. Now, one of the things that we need to definitely add is a shadow underneath him. So I'm gonna go to Tools. I'm gonna click Selective and click my plus button right there. You see where my B is. And if you hold one finger still and zoom out with the other, you can see how it lights up in red. And I just need a small shadow right there. There we go. And I'm gonna turn my brightness down like that. Now we can increase its size a little bit. We just want it to be obvious there's a shadow underneath him. Now a photo like this will not post to Instagram well. So under tools, go to expand, and then we want to drop it down just a little bit, ensuring that our background color that it's posting is black. I do have it set to black. So now it kind of has a movie feel to it, doesn't it? All right, now we're gonna export it. I'm gonna do save a copy. I think it looks good already, but I think I'm gonna use Perpetua because it has some green tones in it that I think have kind of a beach feel to it. So then we'll click next, and there you have it.
We're going to show you a cloning trick. And in cloning, you have one subject appear multiple times to convey an emotion or a story. In this case, we're gonna use the beautiful lake backdrop to do a really cool cloning trick. Set your camera up on a tripod or on some kind of object where your phone will not move 1 millimeter. Take your clean plate photo with your main subject in it. Have your cloning subject move all around as you get some great shots.
Got it.
Now let's edit it on Snapseed.
All right, so to edit this one, the first image you want to pull up is your base image, which would be my son. So I'm going to go to Tools, Double Exposure again, Add Image, and I'm going to get the first image of my daughter running around, turn the opacity all the way up, and just like last time, invert again, and make sure your double exposure is set to 0 and just erase everything out. I don't actually have to edit out too much. And that's one done. Let's go back and add another one. All right, and now we have 4 Addies. Okay, at this point now I can edit the look, export it, save a copy. Now let's go see what we can do on Instagram. Okay.
Trick 3, fireflies in a jar. For our firefly trap, I tried to hang a jar in a darkened spot. If I had done this later in the day, it would have been easier. Secure the jar on a low-hanging limb and take several shots where your subject is eye level with the jar. I liked using the rule of thirds for visual interest to help amplify the profile of my daughter's face. No bugs yet. I'll add them later in Snapseed. Now let's edit.
As you can see, it is way too bright, so we're gonna need to darken it. So I click on Tools, go to Tune Image, and immediately turn my brightness down. I'm gonna turn my ambience up to give it some warmth, and turn my warmth up a little bit. Under Tools, I'm going to go to Curves and pull down my darkness here. Pull up the highlights just a little bit. We don't want to overdo it. I'm going to go to Luminance and do the same thing, because I really just want to turn it way down. At this point, I'm going to turn on my brush. I'm going to increase the exposure on her face. All right, I don't love this, but next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look up fireflies on black background free. And here's one I already saved. I feel like this one is pretty bright and it'll work. For our jar, we need to put fireflies in our jar. So we're gonna go to double exposure, go get our fireflies, just put them right over the jar where I want. You notice that I don't have the black background behind it. That's because I'm gonna click on lighten, and that way it'll erase the black behind it. And I need to go and erase. But I also want to put more fireflies in the background, so I'm going to add another one. All right, export it, go to Instagram, adjust it. I hope you learned something, and I know a lot of this is more trial and error, so playing with it is the best way to learn. Have fun!